There's no denying Andrew Garfield's talent, but few roles have tested his emotional and physical limits as profoundly as Father Rodriguez in Martin Scorsese's Silence, 2016. In a performance that deserved far more awards recognition, Garfield abandoned his usual charm to deliver something rawer, more vulnerable, and deeply unsettling. His portrayal of a Jesuit priest clinging to faith amid unrelenting persecution anchors one of Scorsese's most personal and devastating films, revisiting a forgotten chapter of history. Based on Shisaka Endo's 1966 novel, Silence is set in 17th-century Japan, where Christianity has been outlawed and believers face merciless suppression under the Tokugawa shogunate. Garfield plays Father Rodriguez, a Portuguese missionary who journeys with fellow priest Garp, Adam Driver, to find their mentor, rumored to have renounced his faith under torture. What they discover is not random brutality, but a system of persecution designed to shatter the spirit. The Japanese authorities employed the practice of fumii, forcing Christians to trample on a sacred image to publicly renounce their faith. Their aim was not martyrdom, but psychological defeat. The silence at the heart of the film is God's seeming absence during the suffering, forcing both Rodriguez and the audience to grapple with whether divine silence is a test of endurance or a void. Scorsese's long prayer on screen. For Scorsese, Silence was more than a film, it was a decades-long spiritual project. He first pursued the rights in the 1960s and often described the final product as a long prayer. His direction strips away spectacle, instead immersing viewers in landscapes of suffering, captured with painterly precision by cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto. Waves, storms, and empty spaces mirror Rodriguez's internal collapse. Even more haunting is the sound design. Eschewing traditional score, Scorsese leans on natural sounds, rain, crashing seas, footsteps, and moans of the dying. The effect is unrelenting, forcing viewers to share Rodriguez's helpless silence as he watches believers tortured for refusing to renounce their faith. Garfield's spiritual immersion. The film's power rests on Garfield's shoulders, and his preparation was as grueling as the performance. To embody Rodriguez, Garfield immersed himself in the spiritual exercises of Saint Ignatius, a foundational Jesuit practice. He lived the rituals, fasted, lost 40 pounds, and most significantly, spent a year in prayer, though he had never been a praying man before. This commitment gave him a lived sense of Rodriguez's struggle, and it shows on screen. The character's torment, torn between devotion, survival, and the crushing weight of God's silence, feels heartbreakingly real. Unlike the heroic martyrdoms often dramatized in cinema, Rodriguez's fate mirrors that of his historical counterpart, Giuseppe Chiara, a life of survival under constant surveillance, stripped of glory, weighed down by compromise. A different kind of horror. While not a horror film in the traditional sense, Silence is terrifying in its own right. Its dread comes not from monsters, but from the erosion of the human soul under systematic persecution. Scenes of believers crucified in the sea or tortured slowly over days linger with the audience. Scorsese frequently frames these acts from Rodriguez's perspective, trapping viewers in his paralysis as faith crumbles under unbearable pressure. The horror lies in the impossible choice: betray your God to save others from suffering, or stay true and watch them die. Garfield embodies this torment with devastating authenticity, showing a man unraveling not just physically, but spiritually. The enduring weight of silence. Silence is not easy viewing. It is meditative, unflinching, and challenges its audience as much as its protagonist. But that is precisely why it endures. Scorsese, supported by Garfield, Adam Driver, and Liam Neeson, delivers a film that asks eternal questions about faith, suffering, and the human condition. Andrew Garfield's performance, born of deep spiritual and physical immersion, is the film's beating heart. Vulnerable, anguished, and painfully authentic, his Rodriguez doesn't offer the comfort of triumph. Instead, he forces us to sit with the agony of compromise and the terrifying quiet of unanswered prayers.